You went on Carson the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You did your act. I don't know how many minutes Carson gave you, like 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You did it. You performed it 200 times.
Maybe 100.
100 times. All right, that's a lot of times.
Still a lot, yeah.
Right. And when you finally got on Carson, which was the goal of every single comedian, were you nervous? I mean, were you just like...
Just out of your mind.
Out of your mind nervous?
Out of your mind.
So how do you get through that? And did you think you did a decent performance the first time you were on there?
It was okay. I wasn't that happy with it.
Was your rhythm off? Was your timing off? Was that the problem?
I was so... I had never been in front of 500 people before.
Oh, my God.
Just the studio audience. I'd never seen an audience that big.
How did they find you to put you on there?
At the Improv in L.A.
And how many years had you been toiling away before they spotted
you know what, Howard? I didn't toil too hard. It was 4 years. I started in '76. I was on the Tonight Show in '81.
And Johnny, did he give you the? I always thought the comedian should hate Johnny because Johnny would sit there. No other guest went through this. But Johnny would watch you do your performance, and then if he deemed it so worthy, he brought you over to the couch. Like,
no, well,
demeaning.
the first level is this.
The okay symbol.
You get the okay.
Right.
Which is, I got that, and that was still the greatest moment of my life.
Right.
And then 4 or 5 shows later, then they let you on the couch.
Did you ever hang with Johnny personally?
Yes, I did.
And was that comfortable for you, or was he just too iconic and too important to you to have a good time?
Too iconic and too important to really relax.
Right.
But it was me and Gary Shandling.
At Johnny's house?
We went to dinner. This is after he was off the show.
Right.
And I said to Gary, one day I saw Gary, and I said, you know, why don't we call Johnny? We said, you know, one of these days we're going to pick up the paper.
And he's going to be gone.
He's going to be gone. Let's just do it. What's the worst he could...
Wow.
And he made both our lives. Let's call him.
And now Gary, being Gary Shandling, and I know him a little bit, he must have been like, we can't call.
No, Gary, you know, no, he was totally into it. We did it. We went out.
Where'd you go?
We went to this fish place up in Malibu. I don't know what it was, some tiny little fish restaurant.
Was he sick or anything already?
No, he was in very good spirits and good health.
And was there stuff to talk about?
Yeah. You know, here's one thing I remember. Johnny was talking about how show business is so crazy and so unpredictable. He said, when we heard Lawrence Welk was getting a TV show, it was the biggest joke.
That's
People
right.
were pounding the table. They're giving Lawrence Welk a TV show.
Right.
He can't even talk English.
Right.
And, of course, it's the biggest hit in history of television.
And, by the way, Lawrence Welk even defeated Sid Caesar. And Mel Brooks and all those guys were writing. Sid Caesar came back with a second show. He went up against. I saw this on the Mel Brooks tribute.
Oh, really?
He went up against Lawrence Welk and he got beaten in the. He got killed. That was it. The end of Sid Caesar. Lawrence Welk.
Yeah. So that was his example of don't ever think you know what's going to happen in this business.